only know one truth. It's time for the Jedi to end.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Sarlacc Digest, a podcast digesting Star Wars topics over 1,000 years. My name is Marco, also known as Darth Moocher in the art and gaming community. The crew is here and ready, so let's jump right in. I'm joined here with Chris, aka Grand Admiral Franz.
Hey, this is Chris, and my big thing when we get in here is each week I'm going to go through the expanded universe. I'm probably one of the few geeks that doesn't mind that the old EU is gone and we started with the new books, the new comics, the new animation. I'm all over that, and that's what I'll be talking about mostly. But this week, I know we want to jump all over this new trailer, so
that's right. You're our lore master, our veteran lore master in the house.
Darth Dad,
also known as Grand Admiral Franz.
Daddy.
Also joining is Joey, Bootleg Joe. What's up, Joe?
What's going on, man? I'm the Bootleg Joe, Star Wars enthusiast, toy collector. Been watching Star Wars since I was a little sperm. But, no, not really. But, yeah, man, I love Star Wars. Been a fan for a long, long time, and I always cheer for the bad guys. Go Empire.
Awesome. Yep. And that laugh right there is Mike, not our fanboy Mike. What's up, Mike?
Fanboy Mike, what's up? Basically, I'm just your average fanboy that fell in love with Star Wars as a young boy. And basically, I asked the thought-provoking questions that you wanted to ask. And just never got around to doing it, and I'm just here to bring that.
Heck yeah, man! Can't wait for that. Also joining us is Ernie, the Fallen Fett, also from Toy Migos. What's up, Ernie?
Hey guys, what's up? It's the Fallen Fett, and I'm here representing Toy Migos and the RLU, the Raw Live Unedited Podcasting Network, and I'm here with the Sarlacc Digest to just straight get into it. Been growing up with Star Wars forever. I'm ready to break shit down, make you think, make you catch things. If you hear me on the RLU, you know that I just have an eagle eye for catching stuff, hearing different things, and trying to bring your attention to other details than what's going on. And as soon as we can get into it, too, me and Joe will break down the toy aspects of everything.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
and get
huge.
straight into it.
Absolutely. Well, everybody knows Celebration just ended, and we are recording this on Monday, the 17th, right after Celebration. And the biggest news coming out of there, of course, is the Episode 8 trailer. And, guys, let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Let's get our overall thoughts about it. Like, how did you feel about it? I mean, does it look good to you guys?
Looks great. I'm saying this is one of those trailers where I wasn't jumping out of my seat like, say, Episode 7, but it didn't have Han and Chewie, which was kind of a...
Yeah,
kind of a big deal.
Sad.
There. But this is awesome just to show you where they are right now, where they're going to start, and not give away really a whole lot of anything.
Yeah, of course, teaser trailer, right?
Right.
So, you guys?
Yeah, I'm totally breaking it down as well, too. I wasn't jumping up excited. It's still exciting, though. I mean, when we had Episode 7 hit, we had just been on a hiatus for so long and news of what we wanted and everything that was going on. And now, as soon as we get this one, that it seemed they followed the same exact as Episode 7 went, as we have the jump and everything to get right into it. So it was really, really great. I can't wait, but I have a lot of questions, and I really want to get into just breaking it down.
Absolutely. A lot more questions.
Yeah, definitely. When it came out, we were super anticipating this. We were counting down days, and when it hits, everybody's basically holding their breath.
I felt like it was Christmas. Like, I swear, I went to bed early, and I was like, oh man, I felt really excited.
I told my wife, I don't want to go to work. I literally wanted to stay home and watch this. I was ready for it. But upon what Chris was saying, it gave me enough. It gave me enough to want to. It's the anticipation of it. We know who we're gonna get. We know we're gonna get a lot of our heroes, and it's bringing it just gave you that taste as to what you're gonna want to see.
Of course.
It wasn't that boom, it just gave you what you wanted to see, and I think it was just enough. It was just that little taste.
Remember,
this.
I was saying before that I was hoping they wouldn't show Jack before this, right? I didn't want to see shit. I wanted to see The Last Jedi and hear Mark Hamill say something, and that was it. That's all I wanted to see until December. So this is more than I even needed to see.
Yeah, well, the day it came out, I was in school, trying to get my Class A. And these two guys, Marco and Chris, are just blowing the phone up. Oh, that shit was awesome. Oh, this was awesome. I'm like, dude, I'm trying to get this test down and everything. And then I go to my truck and break and I watch it, thinking that there's going to be 10 million more questions I have to ask now. And it actually got me to the point where there's one question that I'm done asking, and I don't even give a shit no more.
And
that is if Rey's a Skywalker.
Yeah.
I'm to the point where, after seeing that, I'm like, I don't care if she's a Skywalker,
yeah.
if she is or not. Just Luke's that line that Luke said just made me not even care about it no more.
And why is that? Because you're more interested in the Jedi aspect of it, or
more of
not
because a new story is gonna start,
right?
And it took my attention off. It took about that line took my attention off of, is she a Skywalker? Is she this? Is she that? It's more or less like, what is she gonna be now?
Yeah,
it's something new. It's not something like that we're all hanging our hat on. This is Luke Skywalker's daughter. This is such and such daughter. No, it's damn, this girl's gonna be something brand new.
Well, let's get into that a little bit. I mean, I think we all have theories from Force Awakens where who is Rey? Who's her parents? Who is this girl on Jakku, and why is she just enthralled into this universe? Any thoughts about that? Like the lineage of this, the Skywalker. I know there's a lot of theories out there.
I'm with Joey on this because a lot of people are going around saying they really don't care what Rey's last name is, and I'm with you on that. Okay, so
about not caring.
Not caring. Let me get into what I wrote down. The purist in me says, just entertain me. After the trailer, I can say that I don't care what her last name is, and I don't care if she's a Force user or a gray side, because even if the Jedi dies with Luke, and she trains to be a gray, and the dark side and the Sith, even though there isn't any technically right now, emerges to do evil and harm, kill and plunder and destroy, she rises up to defeat, she rises up to defeat and defend, which means she's technically the light side, even though she's gray. In other words,
gray,
a part of the lack of a better term, light side,
right?
Because at the end of the day, we want somebody who will basically help stand for the poor, the weak, and the desolate. See,
sure,
to me.
Isn't that the Jedi order?
That's what I'm saying.
The way
to me, it doesn't
mantra?
matter. But then there's the purist side that says, wouldn't that be the baddest thing that it would be a Skywalker? Because in one aspect, wouldn't we want her one day to call her son Luke and pass down that baton?
I always thought of the episodic trailers as being the Skywalker lineage that all stuff, but
they are still, because Kylo.
They are, exactly. He's just a Skywalker as a solo. I get
that.
It
doesn't matter what she is. There's still a Skywalker in the movie, regardless.
You're absolutely right. It doesn't. The Chosen One is going to do.
When
we go back,
bad words, man. We're going back.
The Chosen One is the person that does the right thing at the end of the day.
Sure.
Period.
Well,
I don't know about that.
From a certain point of view.
Right. I understand that. I'm with you on that, but. The yin and the yang, the dark and the light. You will always have the dark, and you will always have the light because somebody has to defend.
Well, you can't have good without bad. I get that. Like, how do you know what good is unless you have a bad to counter that, and vice versa?
That was my point of view about this whole thing about Rey. So I don't care if she's a Jedi any longer. I don't care if she's got a Skywalker last name or she has a last name of Obi or anybody else. It doesn't really matter to me.
Man. Gray Jedi. I heard Gray Jedi. I heard Obi-Wan.
And Gray Jedi can't happen anymore, right? Because I said that earlier.
Correct. We'll talk about the Gray Jedi in a bit.
What about Organa Schmitz?
Yeah.
Stop yourself, dude.
There's a lot of speculation on the origins of Rey, and I'm not there with you on the when it comes to not caring that she's a Skywalker or not. I think that, to me personally, it's important that not that she's a Skywalker, but we know that. I still want to know.
Yeah.
I agree. It's going to have to do a lot with who she is. Where exactly is she coming from? She a Skywalker? She a Kenobi? Is she a Palpatine?
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know.
Another interesting theory there.
Is she a Binks? We don't know. I mean, we got to get straight into it. So
yeah,
I am still wondering, and I do want to know, and I have a lot of theories. And I know everybody is just content with this trailer, but man, I have dissected this trailer so much. I have so much to get into. I mean, I watched it live on 3 different. I had my computer, my iPad, my phone. I was right there in the midst of watching Celebration all weekend. I was right there with them. I was all up in it because I've just been ready for this. I want to see where the story continues on. Yeah. So we got introduced everything in 7, and it was a great arc. We loved it. We all agreed on that. And now seeing this and where it is supposedly is supposed to pick up right where it left off.
Right.
So if we get right into the trailer and where she starts and we see Rey with a hand on the rock and jumping down, if you guys notice, she's still in her same outfit as when she just handed Luke the lightsaber.
Yes.
I'm totally wishing that Luke don't know who the hell this is at all. I would love to see him, like, the way that she was breathing and like that. Did he choke her out?
That's interesting.
Did he choke her out? Did he force push her?
He choked
and
the
that's
bitch?
what we see? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If we're getting into we don't know who Rey is, and he didn't either, and it's supposed to pick right off, she's still in the same clothes.
Yeah.
If we notice that.
I think he would sense her intent. I don't think Luke, good or bad or gray or whatever, would.
If he's supposed to be by himself for a long time,
he's on one island. He saw the Falcon come in.
Yeah,
there's no way he didn't see the Millennium Falcon show up
or hear it.
And I want to believe that he's in touch with the Force and the ripples that even Han Solo's death. You know, Leia felt it. I think Luke felt it too. He's got to know these things are happening around him, not just be isolated on the island. But I also have a cool theory about that very first shot when she falls down and she's out of breath. I mean, in my back of my mind, I'm like, he showed her the dark side somehow, or some kind of rage that freaked her out, and she ran out of that cave and fell down. I don't know.
I'm down with that, like the cave on Dagobah, something like that.
Yeah, something. So you guys are along the lines of you thinking it was a flashback,
or a vision of the future,
or her visions that she's getting, like when she touched the saber. Yeah, so we already know she gets visions. She's had the saber, and now she came off of one.
Right.
Yeah, or it gets into it where, you know, obviously she's in. You're right, the same clothes, and it makes it, you know, perfect sense.
And we're supposed to pick right up, which is hard for me. Also, if we're gonna pick right back up, what's our crawl then? 3. We didn't get a Rogue One crawl.
Right. He said it was huge. He said yesterday it was 3 paragraphs deep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they're like counting words. But I mean, people even count the words.
Yeah.
I mean,
we've done it.
We get so fanboy into it. We know how many words it is and everything. So if it's supposed to pick up right where it left off, I want to know what the crawl's going to say. Right. Is it going to say everything from 7 again? Is it going to be all Luke's thoughts of him seeing the Falcon come around, feeling that Han died? Her walking up that whole time.
Yeah.
If we're gonna pick right back up, I want to know what the crawl is.
Yeah, the crawl.
I'm even excited.
Crawl
for that.
is very interesting.
I'm always excited for that.
Because even as much as we love Rogue One, I still felt like it was missing, like just so much without a crawl.
Oh, I just felt it was a crawl.
Yeah,
it was just one
from there.
2-hour crawl.
The movie was.
Yeah,
the movie was the crawl.
It was great. And then after we cut into and we get a shot of Leia.
Right.
And just the back of it. I know we were already discussing stuff earlier, and Chris made a good mention. Chris, you thought that was enough for you?
Yeah, I did. I felt that they would have showed her face. It would have been selling out and trying to use her, right? Like you see the last Fast and the Furious when they used Walker, right? Or how Heath Ledger and the Dark Knight and everything got blown up because of their deaths. I like that, Lucasfilm and Disney didn't go there and get a Leia headshot all of a sudden right in the beginning. Just back of her head, knowing she's the light. And the way they used her right there, I got chills thinking about it.
Just showing that she's a part of this. She's still there.
Here. She's
still
the
here.
light of the movie.
Absolutely.
And she's the positive part, and that's it.
It was great that we just saw the back of her head, and it was also great what they did at Celebration when they just gave her own time and did that in memory of. I think it was very, very nice of them to do that. Like we said, nobody played on it. Right. They had that. They also had one with Mark Hamill where it was him breaking down his time with Leia, and he said that he needed it as a real person to break down her death with the fans.
Yeah. It was definitely therapy for him. Definitely.
That's why I think that this is why we're doing this.
Absolutely.
The Sarlacc Digest is a family that came out of standing in a line of friends, not knowing each other, and then starting.
Yeah.
And we see these actors, and they're a family as well. This was the first one that Harrison Ford showed up to, and him and Lucas were bickering on stage, and it was great.
I saw that.
Wasn't that great?
Yeah,
like
it was great.
Older brothers of how he met. He was like, "You were waiting outside my office."
Yeah, he goes, I wasn't really. There was
sorry, George, but I don't wait for you. It's great because they're a family. And then Mark Hamill had to have time with the fans.
Yes.
And he was crying and getting choked up and just like that, just to break down Carrie Fisher's death.
Yeah.
So as we saw this trailer, I agree with you, Chris, that it was great that they didn't sell it. Yeah. It wasn't like Disney sold out at all. We got the back. We got our shot. That was it. We know she's going to be in it. Respectful enough. Yep. They had the pictures of her at Celebration, and then that was it.
Yeah, I think they're playing it right.
So, yeah, I agree to that.
Yeah,
I thought it was great.
because I think they did come out and they did say something about we're not going to CGI her. We're not going to go the cheap way out. We're going to do the footage that they shot, write it. If they have to rewrite the ending, maybe 9, whatever. I think pretty much it said 8. Her parts are her parts. They didn't have to really redo things to compensate for Carrie Fisher. 9 is a different story, but let's just take this one first. But you know,
well, I've said for a while now, I don't think personally they need to ever kill her off, and they could let her live in the lore.
Absolutely.
Forever. Because you can just leave her. She's off on some planet doing something. I know some people think that's a cop out, but for her character, let her character live on after 9. After
Books,
this.
everything. Books,
Books,
right.
comics, animation,
right?
Everything.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't need to see somebody's death to know like I have to have an ending. If like all the going back to the original trilogy, just because Yoda was on Dagobah, Luke was on Tatooine with Obi-Wan, I myself want to think that there's other Jedi that escaped Order 66 and are out there. You don't need closure for everything. The galaxy's big for.
We have that with Rebels.
Absolutely,
Rebels showed us that. So it's great. Comics.
Yes, exactly, and that's
knows,
what I
so
said.
that's
I don't
great.
need that closure for like every little bit of thing. So.
And it leaves an opening because it's a huge galaxy, obviously, right? It's a huge galaxy. There's going to be Force sensitives everywhere. Rogue One had the Guardians of the Wills, right? Or Chirrut was.
I believe we're
Force
going to see a
sensitive.
movie. Sorry, we're going to see their movie.
I think we're going to see a comic. That'll be as far. They won't make a movie. I don't think. But that's where.
Yeah, I mean, so do you have anything to add there, Joey?
I'm
for
enjoying.
that
I'm
Leia?
just enjoying your guys' conversation, bro.
Man.
And the Bendu, right? Now, not to be confused with the old Bendu and the old EU, which was the people that started the Jedi, right? The Order of the Jedi High, but the Bendu, the character Bendu, who has control over both sides, which I think is awesome. Which I think is where Luke is going to go, and I've kind of shared that too, where you see that the rumors about those birds, the owl-type Furby birds on the island. And
Correct.
You can see one on the Bendu during Rebels.
And
cool
what Chris
things
is
like
talking
that.
about is the Bendu in Rebels.
In Rebels, not
Rebels.
the old
Go on.
Order of the Bendu.
And Bendu is coming from where he's breaking down is that Bendu is coming from Lucas's first script, where it was called the Order of the Wills, and the Bendu is what the Jedi were called, and they fixed that into Rebels.
Right.
Go ahead, and you're right.
They
and
even
then
use it in
the
the old EU. They used it there, and then how they would go off in the first, Order of the Jedi. That's old EU stuff, so that's not canon anymore. But they're using that. It's neat how they brought it back and used Bendu as the character.
Slowly bringing
It
stuff
was
back
great.
To show how you have a middle person now. So now when some of us, or fans that watch that, or kids that watch that, when they see The Last Jedi and he starts talking about there's a middle ground, they'll understand that it was like Bendu and how he taught, Kanan.
It's great. And if you guys are not watching Rebels, you need to watch Rebels. It's canon. It follows the story. It brings us new characters and new descriptions into that. They brought back Thrawn. But as we're talking about Bendu, and we see Bendu, and we're talking about the Wills, do you guys think that shot in there had anything to do with that, as we look like they're books or whatever?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Inside the arc of a tree?
The tree.
That tree also looks like the back of Bendu.
Yeah.
The way that he was.
Could be.
So there's a lot that has to do with that.
Or those force trees that he saved in the Poe Dameron comic.
Which comes in the comic.
Right?
There was 2 trees that Luke took, and he planted one, and the other one was with Poe, and they're saying that comes the reason of why Poe is so great. Could be a little force sensitive.
Right, force sensitive. Absolutely. And I do think that we are moving into this new way of what we understand as a Jedi or a Force user is going to be. When the end of the trailer said, this is the end, this is the last Jedi and stuff, I think we're definitely going into this gray area, and we're not going to call it gray Jedi, because gray Jedi, to be a gray Jedi, you have to be a gray Sith. There's a balance there. So
you'd be either one. It has to be a new name.
What originally we had was the light and the dark, and the gray kind of came in EU, and it was talked about. Now, a lot of people are bringing up, if we've talked about here, the gray Jedi, is because then when we get that shot right after of what we could think is the Wills, as we see right here in the tree and everything, and then we get this glove touching the old gray Jedi symbol, that's what that is the old gray Jedi symbol.
Yeah.
not the Jedi that we know symbol, or
That's a symbol that
The
resembles
Sith.
balance.
exactly.
Well, there's two thoughts on that. Now, people are calling that the Jedi Order symbol, and then I've also seen that's the Gray Jedi symbol. Gray Jedi, gray, So which one is it?
Well,
yeah, it's hard to say because it was Jedi first when we had our prequels,
Right.
and
the
it's very
Jedi Order
close to
symbol
that,
is
but
that.
it's
Yeah.
correct.
Right.
well,
and
one,
I'm-
go ahead, bro.
Oh, I'm saying this jumps into theory, not trailer, right? I've said since the second I saw it, I want that to be Qui-Gon's journal. That would link the prequels up, right? And that would explain how he was different than everybody else. Wouldn't let him on the council. How odd this wasn't for him to find Qui-Gon's journal. Would link it all back because Qui-Gon's the one that found his dad. Goes through all this. He caused the whole thing. If he didn't make that deal in the very beginning, if they had just left and got their parts or did whatever, this wouldn't have happened. It links Qui-Gon back. This is what episode 8 to there. 7 episodes later, we rad.
As much as Disney is linking together, I would love that theory.
Yeah.
Because Rebels link so much together. I lost my shit when we saw Obi-Wan on the do-back,
Man,
watching the little kid run across the road, and you hear, Luke! I flipped out.
yeah, I watched it this morning.
I flipped. Yeah.
It just seems like when it comes to you following comic books, what they did with Marvel and how far back they'll go, this isn't brand new to them, tying all this stuff and then bringing stuff like you said. There's a game coming up that's going to be canon soon, or the new game that they're coming
Battlefront 2. They're bringing that whole story mode on that, and a book that's coming out, Inferno Squad. All canon.
So that what I'm saying is that this isn't new to them. This them tying all these other things that like the emblem or the symbol of the Great Jedi or Qui-Gon's journal. I mean they won't have an issue going into that, at least to my belief. I mean they've done so well with Marvel, and now what they're doing with Star Wars, it's bananas.
Well, the cool thing is they leave it to Lucasfilm. It's not really like Disney gets that involved. They really leave it to them, and they're just. And especially after Rogue One, I see that they have the balls to do stuff, and I'm not scared that they're going to do something completely off the wall and make it. It's not going to be generic. It's not going to be boring. When we walked into Rogue One, I said they have to kill everybody or it's a cop out, right? This all has to happen. And sure as shit, they went through all of it and did everything. There was probably like 4 or 5 things at the time we said they had to happen, and they did them all. And I was like, wow, I left here not thinking they chickened out at all.
No, it was great, and they even expanded more by going into the books.
Yeah.
Like the books that they're all releasing, everything has to line up. Everything has to be great. So with that, and we got him killed. Yep. It made 4 seem new again.
Yep.
Just so new again what they're doing. I love if that does come from Qui-Gon. It would tie everything together. And it would. So then that puts us how Luke is dressed.
With the short Paddington Bear rain jacket.
Yeah, exactly. But how we saw him just at the end of 7 of
Right.
why was he in those colors?
Yeah, completely different than anything.
Why exactly? I mean, so we see him first, in the first robes as him going, and at the end of Jedi, he's in black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now we have
And he unleashed some dark side on Vader there at the end.
almost
there.
like in a Qui-Gon garb. Yeah. So that would be great if they tied everything together. We have the shot of him, there. And then we get into, so if it is, and if he's there, so in the middle, let's just say, of both. And do you guys think then those shots that we have of Rey, all of a sudden she's standing in front of water, supposedly it's supposed to be a test, almost like a Dagobah test. Yep. And then we see the rocks floating. If you guys have watched that close enough, she's almost like sitting Indian style.
She's Indian style,
You can see the foot and how much power. So, and then we got the running shot of her. Then we got the Karate Kid.
With the saber active.
Yeah, we got the Karate Kid moment on the rocks. Of Luke in the background, which we think is Luke, and her just wielding that saber. Yeah. So do you guys feel that he's training her?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
But not as a Jedi. As whatever he is now, because that's what he's the last. He was the last.
We
Jedi.
know why he's on
She's the
Octu.
new.
We know why he's on Octu. In other words, we have the idea as to why he's on Octu, guilt and whatever have you. And so obviously she's showing up, and there's this information that's given to us is telling us that she is in one way being trained. She's wielding the saber. There's someone who obviously is probably Luke that's going through the run with her.
And
Well,
Yoda on the rocks.
That's a question. I think that's been all pretty much confirmed that he's going to be training her. It's just not as it's not as a Jedi. It's as something else. And that's going to be the trick. And I think even in his voice, and I think it's perfect for Mark Hamill right now, especially in his life. Now, we know how he can switch characters and what he can do, right? To go and be able to switch back and forth, even in this movie. at a moment's notice, go to the dark side. We were talking about earlier. Turn. All of a sudden, he gets evil, and you see his yellow eyes, and he comes back, and he can bring it back when he needs it. You know,
It would be so great, especially just we know his level of playing that with the Joker
right?
as he does it. And he's an outstanding character, not only voice actor, but as an actor to do that would be great.
We have never seen a character do that yet, where you can channel the dark side. I mean, go full on and then come right back without any damage.
Now they've talked about it, right, in the past, because Yoda, when he heard Qui-Gon speak in two, when Anakin was killing the Sand People, right? The same thing. He was in the dark side. He was meditating in the dark side at that moment.
Yes.
Yoda can go back and forth.
Yeah.
You know, they talk about it off camera, so it's possible. You know, Yoda wasn't fully on in
And
it.
catching Palpatine's lightning like
he
nothing
understood
and
it,
everything. He does
And when he did on
understand
Dooku
it.
in Episode 2, again, he just grabbed it and kept it. and was
Exactly.
like,
So it can be done.
Yeah.
But to see him actually do it
yeah.
would be amazing. And it'd be
To
great.
use it would be awesome.
Okay.
Because you heard the rumor that he doesn't even use a lightsaber, right? Like
Right.
when these folks come up, he's just like, that's a dark side power, right? There's no way that's a light side power.
This is why I feel if she's not a Skywalker, great. But this is why I feel she is.
Oh,
It's
and by the way,
because-
do we ever give a spoiler warning anywhere in here, just in case
Well,
we talk about
this is-
something that pops up?
You know what? You're gonna have to go back and
I think
edit that in.
We're just talking about
Let's do
trailers,
it
so it's
now.
nothing
Okay,
like
hold
a
on.
leaked script or anything.
Here's your spoiler warning. Okay, if you're mad, I'm sorry, but this is your spoiler warning. And if you don't want to hear nothing about what's going on, you don't want to hear nothing about no trailer or anything like that, turn the
Turn the volume off.
Turn the volume
fast
off.
forward.
and
But
go-
keep it on
and
so we can get the
But keep it
listeners.
on.
Yeah, just
turn,
turn the volume
yeah,
down.
just go to bed. Just
I don't think it's
Go-
really
go
a
take a
spoiler.
nap,
This is
go to
all
bed.
speculation.
Yeah, just
we're having
I'm
fun with
pretty
theories.
Sure, I'm pretty sure I'm right on 90% of it.
No, yeah. Well, we'll see.
If you're the
All
type
you
of person
trolls,
that
put it
doesn't want-
down.
If you're the type of person that doesn't like spoilers, you don't want to hear nothing, you want to go in blind, you shouldn't even be listening to podcasts anyways.
Yeah,
I felt like I shouldn't
There
have
are
said that piece
purists.
about no lightsaber and making people disintegrate type shit.
Right.
You know? Like,
Yeah.
That was going back to that. I was just saying that even if we don't care who she is, great, that's fine. You know, she can be a standalone or she'll have a last name. Okay, that's fine. I'm just saying with what we saw in The Force Awakens, she was way too stinking powerful, and for her to be now honed down with Luke's counseling is going to make her a fiend. I mean, just crazy bananas.
Yeah. So let's talk about
You guys want to take and view the trailer and talk it bit by bit and kind of go through what's happening?
Yeah, exactly. That's what we kind of been doing. So we've already talked about her seeing her train, and we've had that. We have our speculations
Right.
on
Or
the
even-
gray.
even
We
the,
kind
or
of jumped
the rocks
around.
coming off the ground. We mentioned that, right?
Yeah.
That was neat because that goes right back to Empire, right there. Right?
Yes,
Where he's
exactly. Where he was
in the
lifting
rocks.
with that. So that's where we kind of, all of us agree that maybe he is training her in the way, but we don't know in what way. And then after this shot, we get the shot of Leia, the back. She seems to be there. Did you guys catch Admiral Akbar?
Yeah,
in the
Akbar's
background?
in the back there. So and they
So he's probably on his
speculation on
ship.
Calamari, the Hope One ship,
Yeah.
right? Because that's Akbar's ship.
We don't know the planet system that she's looking at, but I mean,
No, it's
Well, they're probably finding a new place for the Republic. Or
Exactly.
Their resistance.
because as a lot of people remember, we may have blown up Starkiller Base, but they still took out the
there's
resistance.
the Imperial
the
fleet.
entire resistance.
Yeah,
that was
they,
just.
they
Oh,
took
the-
it out.
yeah.
That's what we need.
The
to
New
go
Republic
into,
is gone, right? As we know it, the
Yes,
Senate,
exactly.
everything.
And I hope people remember that and know that as we get into this movie of like, well, what the hell happened? No,
Right.
do you not remember? We did blow up Starkiller Base, but that was just
a
their base.
system, not just a plan. A system when
Yeah. And
they
all the
found-
leaders got out of the Starkiller Base. It's not like they
Yes.
killed Snoke or they
No,
killed
they're
No.
Hux,
Hux-
or they didn't even kill help me out.
Phasma.
Phasma, because she's got a
Phasma's
comic book
alive.
coming out in September that shows how she got out.
Well,
and
she's
we
in
see
the
her
trailer.
in the trailer.
She's in the trailer.
and we'll get to that in a sec. Yeah, so all of the First Order is pretty much is well alive. They just lost their big weapon, pretty much. I mean, there's always a talk about the big fleet that's out there. There's a fleet
and
out
Del
there.
Toro's Thrawn. I mean, so they're all still alive.
Del Toro's
Yeah.
Boba.
So in the trailer we had the light, and then we switched to the dark. Now here we see Kylo Ren's helmet smash, and this is
Blast.
interesting because now we have an Obi-Wan in the background talking about being seduced by the dark side.
What's funny in this scene is it looks so brittle, like it could break so easy. But yeah, when he dropped it,
That
right
thing was
before
heavy.
when he was talking to his dad,
It
just
sounded like it
dropped,
weighed
no
like,
bounce,
But it's
no-
smoking,
it
too.
sounded like it weighed 20, 30
Yeah.
pounds.
It's
Yeah.
smoking. So did he smack? Did he?
That's what I'm thinking. He
Yeah.
used the force with something,
Yeah.
either with a lightsaber or used force lightning, whatever he did. So he burnt this thing somehow.
Yeah, it's definitely smoking.
It
So
could be a shot after, or I mean, last time we saw it, it was on Starkiller Base.
Right.
So it could, after the explosion of it, you know, with the melted, the whole blow up, and you know, it gives us a cut scene of maybe they mention Kylo, and they show this,
Yeah.
and then get to him. There's just a lot though, knowing that was gone. Now, as we know, he modeled the helmet after his grandfather,
right,
as an homage to Vader. So to see it destroyed,
and he's gonna be building a new one.
kind of makes a lot though too of where is he at right now.
Yeah,
A mess.
So,
'Cause you heard
but
the
what
rumor
we
there.
know though, is he dropped it at Han's feet, right? So
right.
that's
It
the
blew
last-
up with the
That's the
Starkiller
last
Base,
time
right?
we saw it. Was he
Unless he
dropped at
grabbed it
Han's
on the
feet?
way out. You know, it's possible.
Well, you can also assume he's got others.
Maybe he's
guys.
got
this
more.
doesn't have to be the one.
Just like the speculation, I'm going back a little bit, but
He's
Vader
got
had
one for
multiple
every day of
suits
the
too.
week.
Yeah.
You know, Vader had a lot of multiple
Pink,
suits.
blue,
and
Yeah,
limbs.
sometimes he had a chain around his neck. Sometimes he had red eyes. Sometimes,
Yeah.
multiple suits. You don't wear the clean, shiny suit to go out into battle.
Right. Use that. You know,
And also, as this is going on, this
Dinner
is where
dates.
we get Luke's words of talking to Rey. When
Right.
we hear him say the breathe.
breathe.
We got
What do
that.
you
And then what do you see?
And then we have the light.
She says the light and the darkness.
And when they showed Kylo is when they showed the dark.
Right.
The dark.
Right,
So-
the dark. And then we get into the balance, which now comes to the tree.
Either the inside of a tree or
Yeah,
the
so this
Bendu
is-
there
yeah.
or something, because it does resemble Bendu from Rebels.
It does.
Right. And then Qui-Gon's journal.
And then the gloved hand.
The gloved hand. So who is
Yeah.
the gloved hand?
It's interesting.
Speculations?
Yeah, it's wild. Unless it's Luke.
It's a
covering
tan
his-
glove, brownish glove, right? I mean, it
was
ain't black
It seems
glove.
right-
female-like.
Oh,
just
it-
because it's brown. You
But
know?
it was right hand, but it could be Luke's. 'cause
For,
Kate
for
kind of
all we
became-
know, though,
yeah.
it could be a flashback of something.
Could be.
I say it's Luke's when he first initially
Finds
got
it.
there.
Could be. They said this flashback. The rumor is this movie is very flashback heavy, so a lot of this stuff could be
Well,
not
especially
in
what we
order.
get with Rey knowing
Yeah.
what she does.
And it's
Correct.
hard to tell in anymore because they film it so differently than the old movies, any of the other movies.
I just
before.
want to make one thing and throw it out there as we're watching this.
Yeah.
Who knows what the hell's going to happen?
Correct.
Okay, so one, we got Force Awakens. It was the whole goddamn beginning of the movie. Do you remember I yelled that out in the middle of the movie? And I said, the trailer was all the beginning of the movie. like,
And that, I love that
So-
because then
it
it's
was.
all just night. Just sit back and watch a movie.
Yep, the only other thing you saw was the leather jacket in the snow.
Yes,
and everybody
and-
thought it was Chewbacca
and-
holding Han. At
yeah,
that
and
point.
so all we got was Finn jump up. And
Yes.
then when I saw the whole scare part with Rey, here's the beginning of the movie.
They repeated.
Well, I thought
yeah.
she was gonna huff 5 more times like Finn did because Finn huffed through that whole damn trailer.
What we know is these are all trailers. These are all teasers. What we got is not
No, this
chronologically
is.
in order.
Yeah, it's not.
And,
It's just
you know,
don't-
all this stuff is
We're just having fun. We're speculating. We're
I-
talking about it.
But
Absolutely.
I think they're really good about hiding stuff. I don't remember getting spoiled before.
No,
7.
at all, because of we saw just the beginning shots of the movie,
Yeah.
and JJ was so known for that, and I love that. I mean, from Cloverfield to everything else that he does, he always likes to hide stuff. And then I'll be damned, I don't care if they say it was Rogue One reshoots. I say that's all BS. That was to throw us off. All those shots that we saw in the trailer, that was a totally different movie. None of it happened.
Well, yeah, you're always gonna have scrap. You're always gonna have cutting room floor
But
stuff.
they used
so.
all the cutting room floor.
But I think that it was. That's what I'm saying. I think it was done on purpose, and they kind of went back to, oh yeah, it was all reshoots.
Well, part of that I think
Right.
is true because here's the problem: is it took everybody out of the movie for a second too. When you're like, "Where's the TIE fighter?" Because I don't think they wanted to take us out on purpose. So I don't know how much of that could be right. Because then I was like, "What the hell?" Then they
Yeah.
caused controversy and this and that.
Didn't Luke on the panel say that I recorded stuff for the trailers
Yeah.
that haven't even seen yet?
I want to
Yeah.
say that he was referring
Yeah,
to
it's
the
probably
Force
not even
Awakens
the movie.
teaser trailer because the whole. I think that's what he was referring to because when he recorded his voice, it was not in the movie, and they redid something to. That's why I said the Skywalker thing is important. The lineage of the Skywalker. I have it. My father has it. You know, my sister, whatever,
Yeah.
and you have it. It's like who? If he's talking family, why would he talk to anybody
It-
else but his own blood?
It was never said. Correct.
Correct.
So we have that. So yeah, fanboy Mike is right that he said that. But I'm with Moocher because I watched the whole thing, everything, and he kind of gets upset because he literally trained the shit out of himself
I saw
for
that.
7, and he said to stand on a rock.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's always
He
so
was
mad
waiting for
about
his
it.
scene to come up. He
Yeah.
was waiting for it.
He even calls out that he said that when he saw filming and he saw the lightsaber shake in the snow, like he was ready to step on the stage, like Here I am. He's on. It goes to Rey. What?
Yeah.
It's great
He
because
seemed really genuinely disappointed
He
that he
does.
wasn't in 7.
Yeah,
he
he
kept
was
saying,
pissed.
I got fit. I worked out.
Yeah, he was pissed.
But you know what? Again, I'm glad he wasn't because I think he would have overshadowed anything else.
Well,
they
that's
tried to
why
do.
that's why they
yeah.
edited it that way.
That's why I love these trailers, because these trailers they give you so much, but it's like a swerve. It's just like watching wrestling, dude. You watch wrestling and you think something's gonna happen, and all of a sudden just swerved. So it was funny because I remember when we went to go see Rogue One, you seen all these people walking around with the Irie Bell shirts and shit, and so you're like, oh, okay, that's cool. Those are cool. I wasn't even thinking, dang, that's bad. I want one, Irie Bell, and she don't even say Irie Bell in the movie. It was just done on the trailer,
right.
and so
Well,
that's
they definitely.
why,
I think maybe they do shoot things for the trailer to not
Yeah.
throw people off, but to try to get a general idea of the story.
That's
but
what
not
I was,
give anything away.
That's what I was saying. What Joe was saying is just that. Like, I'm a rebel. Don't we rebel?
Right.
I mean that wasn't
Yeah.
plain. And so upon that saying, like, we're on this Luke trip right now, and we're on this Rey trip. It's just really to throw it out. And you can think about this later on. You guys at home that downloaded this, think about this for a minute. We have our antagonist, which is Rey, but Luke is our hero when it comes to Star Wars fans. Yes, we love the Star Wars movies, but Luke has been our hero for a long time. How much Luke do we want now with the forthcoming movies? How much do we want him by Rey? Do we want Rey and Luke? Do we only want Rey? Do we want a combo of them? How much more of Luke do we want going forward? You don't have to answer this right now,
Right.
but this is thought provoking. I just
Sure,
thought I would answer
sure.
it. That's absolutely
He
great.
can be in the background somewhere, being a leader and kind of guiding it if it goes that way, or if he goes and is a recluse. It's fine just to have him in the background here and there, kind of just as a supporting character, but not the main. Because I'm good now with the new cast, surprisingly, right? But I do think because they're all getting on in age, he can take on the Alec Guinness piece, but live through the series and not have to be a Force ghost about it, but be actually there and tangible, not be a Force ghost sitting on a log and Dagobah telling him what's going on. He can actually be there.
This is my personal thought on wanting to see Luke or older characters. If, like I was telling Mike yesterday, he asked me this, and I said, if Luke comes back as, Shrek, like almost like how Yoda was, how he was a wise leader, but he wasn't really confrontational. Like, if Rey comes on and says, "We got to go save my friends; they're in trouble," and Luke says, "No, you must stay here and train," then I'm gonna be like, okay, whatever. But if Luke says, "You know what? Let's go save him," hell yeah, I want to see that Luke. I want to see an aggressive.
I do want to see Luke a
that
lot in
says,
this
"Let's
movie,
go."
and going by how much of Han we got, I'm thinking Han was the Episode 7 movie of our older heroes, and now Luke is this is his movie. And
I almost think Leia is.
Leia's the antagonist?
Leia's a lot in this movie, I believe, and I think Leia's going to be the main.
I think she's
legend,
in it, but I think she's
existing character, right? And then next Luke will get part of this, and then big time in
big time in 9.
I think he'll be
Okay,
the
so
antagonist
then in
9.
other words, us following the story, it's become the story, the Star Wars. We're following the drama as it unfolds, not as we're following the Skywalker's drama. We're now just following.
That might just be a transition that Disney's doing.
I mean,
Getting rid of
it
legacy
makes
characters,
sense, right?
going
You're
into the
just
new
not.
guys.
You're getting rid of just that. I'm following
They're
this
getting
young
us
boy,
used
but
to-
you're giving us and fans more to savor.
Well, at this point in their lives, too, I mean, we lost Carrie Fisher. Harrison Ford is not young, right? Mark Hamill is not young. So there's only so far they can go, and they've got like 20 years of this stuff planned out. It's not like
It seems like Disney isn't on the transition ride to kind of out with the old and with the new, but in a nice, elegant
But
way.
you
They're
don't
always
have to
going
kill. You don't have to kill off everybody because mostly like Chewie can last a long time, and he's in a mask, so he can go to anybody. Right? Peter Mayhew's out. You got the new guy
I
in.
really don't even think Peter Mayhew was in it. I think it was a nod.
Right.
He's just that old.
Only the sitting
and-
scenes when he was in
and
the
he
Falcon.
says
That was it.
Right, exactly. So it could go into that. Getting to Fanboy's theory of just the whole Luke thing as we get into it and we cut back to the trailer, we have him, which seems to be standing behind Rey, training on a rock here. So seeing that, we can get into the theory of, okay, are they going to be having a lot of Luke in this one? Is it just are we going to cut to scenes the whole time of just Rey training and never even get a Rey?
Oh no, I hope not.
Like
That's me. I hope not.
Wow.
do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I mean, this
yeah.
gets into Mike's theory.
I
of
understand what
that.
you're saying. You want him off that planet, and you want him in the action. I do too,
They're
and
gonna
Ray
bring
too.
the action to him.
But
at
like
one
Chris is
point.
saying, so then that's 9. Here
Yeah.
we're gonna have a story of Leia rebuilding, and in between that is
Right.
gonna be like Luke on Dagobah of just training, and we're
Right.
gonna get shots of training, and it's gonna build our story
Well,
of
yeah.
what she's training for.
And we'll
for
get to
9.
this right here because there's a scene coming up where we're watching the trailer. Guys, we're watching the trailer and we're talking about it too.
Let me just say this
Go ahead,
last thing.
Mike.
Let me just say this last thing. What would go along with Joey, Luke leaving with Ray. They show shots of the Millennium Falcon.
That's what I was just gonna say.
And I'm sorry, I don't
No,
mean to
no.
jump forward, but
You're
we're
fine.
seeing shots of Millennium Falcon, which means Ray's in it. She's in control.
Maybe.
Well, R2 and Chewbacca are there, and Chewie can.
And Chewie's the one who
fly.
flies it.
Chewie can take off while Ray stays on the
Lando
island,
has
but-
been seen on set.
Yeah. What I guess what Lando has been seen on set. You said
For
8. My goodness.
He was around on 8. Lando was.
Has that been confirmed?
Yes.
TMZ?
Oh, more than TMZ. That was Lando holding his Colt 45
You see? You see?
in a bar.
This is a house
With
of learned
Childish
doctors
Gambino.
right here, dude.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Okay, so
yeah.
we cut away and they're training. And
Yeah,
now
so they're
all of a
training on the
sudden-
island. So now we're yes. Do we want to see? We'll get into that maybe some other day if we want to see a whole movie of just Luke and Ray on the island. I mean, they're part in Episode 8 and then have it saved for 9. I don't know. I don't think I want to see that. I want to see them in the action, but
Well, I think he will be. I just don't think that. Well, I just see it being more of her arc, and I don't think
It's gonna be
not
definitely Rey's
political
arc.
like Episode 1 type, but it has to be something like that, right? Things are broken now.
We'll have to have
The
some.
baton has to be handed off.
Yeah, somewhere, and for that
It has
piece,
to.
Yes, it
and,
does.
And then with
Their
everything blown up,
age-
there's a lot going on politically. They have to work out.
and it's the saber. He's gonna give it back to her at the end and whatever.
Oh, he'll never hold it.
No.
I don't think he'll ever touch a saber. I think, and I see people want, if he's not holding his green saber, this is going to suck and blah blah blah. I don't think he needs one anymore. I think he's beyond a saber. Bendu doesn't have a saber.
No, and I agree with you. He's just he's honestly gone. He's gone on the next level. And with that, I'm just saying, you guys, with Ray being so stinking powerful now. I mean, her being trained. I mean, how much more do we need to see Saber in Ray's hand? I don't want to press forward. We can go back to this. I just wanted to give that
No,
out.
but do you remember the theory before Episode 7 where we thought we were going to see Luke a bunch? And we knew he was in hiding, and they were
Right.
looking for him.
Yeah.
That he had become so powerful, he went away to protect everybody else from him. Do you guys remember that? That he was sitting there and shit would just float around him, and he couldn't even control it anymore. That's the kind of stuff that he's been kind of going through, and that's why he might be a little crazy. Not maybe Saw Gerrera crazy, but
So-
maybe he's losing it a little bit too.
So what if he turns into a little black rain cloud then? And starts shooting lightning at everyone.
He
Yeah,
can shoot
yeah.
lightning, but he doesn't need to become a rain cloud. I don't need.
It better be a rain
Green
cloud
Lantern
with
or-
a hint of green
Right.
in it then, in the background, because the Bendu
Not
had
all
some,
gray.
purple and
He had a
blue.
little bit of purple.
Yeah,
Gotcha,
so
gotcha.
That was cool.
Nice. So yeah, moving on the trailer. So we get a cut to a shot of a new planet with the seems like AT-AT walkers in the
Gorilla
background.
walkers.
and yeah, rumored to be gorilla walkers, which are twice as big as
And the
AT-ATs.
planet is Crate, which is
And it's interesting because they said that it's this red mist popping up, right? And I think it was described that the planet was described as a red oxidized sand with a salt layer over it. So these guys, if they're rebels or whatever, they're either making a smoke screen, to hide from an attack. It looks,
The red mineral is under, and the white is like a coating.
it's like a salt coating.
Exactly.
Yeah,
on
so they're
top of
kicking it up to create a smoke
Supposedly, the
screen.
background is this is what the resistance used as money wise because they were mining here.
Gotcha.
So it seems that their main one comes under attack.
this is where they made their money to fund the rebellion.
Exactly.
Right.
So as these gorilla walkers in the background, why they're called gorilla walkers are they're more bigger, larger. You can see just from this shot, we already see them.
Huge. Yeah,
And-
they're
and
here.
Like,
for
their
how
legs are
bad.
wider now.
Correct.
Right.
Giving them the name gorilla walkers just from their feet. And this is just great visuals.
Yeah, they said
like
they
that
can't take
shot
them
with
out
the
anymore
red.
by the ropes. You can't take their legs out anymore.
Exactly.
Right. Well, they've corrected that issue because the First Order is all about fixing the mistakes from what the Empire went
Right.
through on
Being
every
more
level.
efficient, being
I mean, they
smarter.
fixed the Death Star problem, kinda. They
Still an
fixed it.
exhaust port somewhere.
They're still an exhaust port. They can't get rid of that. So, and now we come to John Boyega's back, Finn's back, and he's
So this is like the portable back to tank, right? Basically,
Portable.
a
It looks like it.
recuperation tank.
Yeah, supposedly.
Right. Now, did you know somebody translated all the markings
Yes.
in here? Did you see that?
yes. They said that the first word says stable.
Right, but the rest of it's gibberish. And
Yeah.
The person said, I know nobody thought somebody was going to look this up and translate it, but I did.
Of course they did.
But
And
they
it was
do.
like,
That's the
yeah,
only
you
knock
can't
to
do
Disney
that.
is they do.
Yeah.
So you guys should have known better because there is that dude sitting at home telling him, "Mom, throw in my TV dinner," because I have a lot to go through right now. And he says, guys, look at what I did.
I just learned bocce.
He's one of those guys that's got the blackboard and he's just like writing everything down and then going to this blackboard and writing everything down.
I would clown, but I do the same damn thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Had I been younger,
They
not
just did it
married,
before
without
me.
kids, I think that would have been my
we're
life.
laughing, but in
because
the back of our minds, we're like, oh,
Dude,
they know.
you speak bocce, huh?
I
guy's
love
like a second
dissecting
language
this
to me.
stuff.
And then now we're getting into the meat of the action of the stories with the trailer. You know, you got Poe running.
It was part of Chris's resume. Joe said, we need somebody who speaks bocce.
Yeah,
I'm in.
exactly.
I'm
It's
in.
the moisture evaporators.
Yeah.
And at first I came through, but I lied and I exploded. And then Chris was like, Ernie's got a bad motivator.
Oh, yeah. And then now, of course, on the trailer, we do confirm that the Millennium Falcon is in it, but we don't know who's piloting it.
In
so.
flight.
Before that, real quick, we did have a shot of our little hero BB-8.
Yes.
And it seemed like Poe, and they were running through, and all of a sudden we get his black X-Wing and an explosion.
Right.
So
His black X-Wing's gone, seems like, this
Again.
time. And in it Celebration, it did say, like, more BB-8. Just, he's going to be the comic relief again in the movie. So.
and it was cool. We got some A-Wings in there.
Yeah.
That was the back of
there's
an
definitely
A-Wing on the
A-Wings, and we'll
side.
see it again in action.
I couldn't tell the other one that was over there, but it seemed like a dismantled Y-Wing. It seemed like a dismantled one was in the right, but there was definitely an A-Wing during the explosion.
Yeah. I think there's A-Wings twice in it.
Yeah, we see him parked, and then we see him actually in
Right
action.
there, see? Yeah. The back circles
Yeah.
right there, and the other one seemed like a Y one. And then, we got the shot of the Falcon swooping in that just makes everybody go,
Killing TIE fighters.
yeah, your
And it
nipples
could
get a
be
little
her back-
hard.
I
You're
think she's
loving
gonna be
it.
too busy Jediing or whatever she is now. And when Chewie and R2 and those guys are up in the ship.
We don't know what planet she's on when she's gunning for whatever she's gunning for.
Right.
but
I mean, she
she's
looks
got
like she's not
that
training right there, right?
Look, I mean, there's mountains, and she's obviously possibly running on flat
Yeah,
ground.
this is a shot of Rey running with her lightsaber ignited, and her looks like she's after somebody.
I
It doesn't
think
look
this is
like
the attack. I
she's
think
in training.
This is
so.
the invasion of
Yeah.
R2 by the Knights of Ren. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
And of course, Mr. Kylo Ren. He comes
Which-
in next after frame.
I love we see his scar.
Yes.
That's great. He still has his saber. I just
Everything
love that
around him is
saber.
on fire, it looks like.
Yeah.
Yes,
There's a lot of
I've already
fire
heard,
in this.
I've already
Yeah.
heard people online and different theories saying, "Oh my God, look, he's got the Sith eyes. He's got the Sith eyes."
Oh,
And I'm
right.
like,
No, there's
really
definitely
look
not
at
Sith
it.
glow
eyes
of
in there.
fire.
That is the
Yeah.
reflection of his sword. Okay.
Yeah.
He's not full dark yet, dude. That's what I'm saying. That's why this gray comes in wild, right? Because I think he's really the one. I mean, I had a goofy theory where him and Luke are in cahoots type of thing, right? Like Luke's in the way, and he's
agreed
trying
on
to
that
turn.
day. Remember when we were talking?
And he's
and
trying to turn so he can learn the dark side.
I think
Yeah.
he is. I still think he's a spy, trying to find out to get rid of Snoke. And I know we keep saying Luke's the Last Jedi and everything, but the only thing that I know as that dropped was that the posters translated to mean two, more than one.
in French, right?
Right, and there was another language as well.
Yeah.
So it is confirmed
Well, it
that
was
Last
through
Jedi
there.
is plural.
Well, it was, but then they debunked it during the celebration and said that's not what it's supposed to translate as here. It's only one. There's one Jedi.
So they
Still
are
not-
confirming
they
it.
confirmed it
Okay,
during
well
the
that's
panel.
cool. That's awesome. But I'm still on the note that Kylo is going rogue. That he is doing this for a reason.
Yeah, but it might not
There's
be a good.
definitely a
But it
reason.
might not be a good reason. I'm not sure Luke's are all together a good reason.
We
Right.
don't know why Kylo Ren wants to find Luke so bad, right? I mean, we all assume that he wants to destroy him and finish what the Knights of Ren started, right? So there's other theories out there. He's after Luke for some other reason.
I still have an unanswered question for Force Awakens when he says "what girl," as if he knows who Rey
Well,
is.
on that,
Wow.
but see, I have
That's because it's his daughter.
yeah.
It's
I
Kylo's
just
daughter.
see. Honestly, I kicked that up to be like, oh my god, you guys got fooled by a robot.
He was
droid.
pimping F-15.
That was a few
girl?
times that happened,
Yes.
though. That what girl type on Kylo happened a few times. I mean, I know that we discussed it is you. I don't know why how I came up to that term, but he has a couple of things that he was. I mean, when it comes to that girl,
But I'm telling you, he's the one that saved her. He's the one that put her on with Ankar Plut. He's the one that took her, and that flashback she had when he's stabbing that guy through the back is him saving. That's him saving her from the purge and taking her.
we see
'cause
his
he-
little girl at Uncard Plet, and we see the ghost flying away.
Yeah.
And right after,
Well, a ghost type shit.
ghost.
That
right
wasn't
after,
the ghost.
right
but yeah.
after we see Sabine and
Sabine's
Ezra
dead.
drop her off. you
Sabine's
mean?
well dead by then. But I'm telling you, because Kylo has the mind powers, right? He takes her. For some reason, he's connected to her. I don't think they're related. I don't think she's a Skywalker. But for some reason, in that Jedi Training Academy, he and her had a connection. And when it was going down, they were going to kill him, and he stopped him from killing her and took her and hit her on Jakku, put her there, wiped her mind. That's why she has all the powers now. She's been trained. She is powerful. And now he wiped her mind, and then here we go. That's why he said.
But the Knights of Ren were right behind him.
Yeah, well, he can control them too. He can do whatever. But
So maybe the Knights of Ren, all of them grabbed her and took her,
or he just mind wiped them or controlled them. He can do it. He's more powerful than we think, right?
Oh yeah, he is.
And then so he takes Rey, hides her, takes care of her. And when he knows he's on Jakku, and he gets help, they get help from a girl. He's like, "What girl?" Because he protected her. He put her there for a reason.
I think he does know her, and he did have a lot to do with her. My main theory has always been that he is with his Uncle Luke, and that they are trying to divulge a new order but in order to do that, they need to get rid of Snoke. They know this. So we send in Kylo Rogue, and we send him in to get close so that we can destroy him. I think the whole backstory, if he's the one who stopped Luke's school and killed all those people, I'm still saying no. I think that Rey is so powerful that she got pissed off one time as a child, flipped out, and killed the kids.
And that could be happening here again.
And did that.
Correct. Which takes us to the next scene. Now, I want you guys to look at this. We get the fire. We get the R2 shot. We get the robe again. I'm sorry, though. That's a girlish figure.
You
know what?
That is not Luke.
No, that's
that's part of the robe, but that's a girlish figure, though.
Yeah, no,
And the way
said
if we
it
can
walked,
rewind it, and the way that the person dropped down, I'm sorry,
like,
that's a girl in
it
distress.
didn't look like it would be Luke at this time.
No.
I agree
And
with
I
that.
know that
Luke's
they're
way
trying to.
wider.
The other flashback that she had was the hand,
Right.
with the fire in this one.
Right.
I don't think. Right. Exactly. I think that this is Rey.
I do too.
And she knows everything that's going to happen. She is that powerful that she is the last Jedi.
That was the future she saw.
Is exactly.
And then Luke's face when he meets her is like, "What are you doing back
So
here?"
as you pause it and we see this fire and everything that she's staring at, we see destroyed wood. We see. Are those people? Is that just more of an explosion
people,
that she could have did? But does that not remind you of something that looks like on Naboo?
Oh,
it does kind of have those dome-shaped
It's a
buildings.
capital
I'm
type
saying if
building.
we're going to
Yeah.
go
Or
back
a
and tie
temple,
in,
right.
like if she's
prequel,
just going after her lineage, her story, or if she is a Skywalker and everything that came about it. But to me, though, I'm glad that you guys agreed with that because there's been so much that I haven't listened to anything. I wanted to do this podcast. I did one of our other shows already beforehand, but I wanted to do this, you guys, because I always like to do a show without somebody saying, "Oh, you heard that."
Right.
Oh, well, you got this from that person. No. This is us talking.
Yeah,
this is what
like
I
said,
do.
brand
I
new.
dissect.
Yeah.
I watch. I'm sorry, that's a girl.
It does. After
That is not. If you
watching
rewind
it
it and let it go,
time, it was.
What do you think,
Yeah.
fanboy? What do you think?
The shoulders being real tight. I mean,
Yeah, man, I'll tell you what. I'm telling you, the second I saw it, I didn't think that was Luke. That's definitely not Luke. Hell, it's closer to Yoda than it is to Luke.
That's not Luke. That's a
girl drop down.
Yeah, weak and tired and ready to go. And Rey's had it. There was a big fight there, or she was drained from having an explosion.
okay, time. Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand
But
that.
then
But
you have
I
this
understand
scene.
that. But if you go back to Rey's, this is in Rey's vision back in Force Awakens. There is embers that are flying around during that scene.
It kind of matches that
And
scene
it
a
was
little bit.
The mechanical hand, right? We're assuming that's Luke's.
right.
By this point in this movie, it could be hers. They all lose hands.
So we're expecting Rey to lose an appendage. I understand.
There, I saw. Didn't
It definitely be.
There was some kind of art before in the book where it showed Rey with a mechanical hand. I thought I saw somewhere.
Wow.
I know Chewie did before the the movie came out. They had him drawn up.
It's a Skywalker trademark.
Concept
Everybody
art.
loses a hand.
It is,
Right.
and we haven't had it yet, and we need to.
Yeah.
Skywalker trademark.
We need. Well, just losing anything.
It needs
the
to happen.
arms, the everything. We need to.
If we're saying Skywalker trademark, who's Rey?
So then we get into the
Zach
shot
or
though.
Smith.
The fire goes on, and we get a shot of Phasma.
Leia's
She's
Skywalker.
alive. She's surrounded by
we know
stormtroopers.
Phasma survived the trash.
But I don't think this coincides with the other one. I think they're giving us
different
their image trickery.
Yeah.
I think this was after the Poe explosion.
She's
could
invaded
be.
that base or wherever
There
he's
you
on,
go.
and definitely.
Yeah.
Right,
Different
because just
place.
the pieces. But
Real fast, I think Phasma is going to be the answer. Remember the movie Willow?
Yeah.
And Saoirse, her character, how she was
God,
bad,
yeah.
and then
Saoirse, yeah.
and then she became fell in love with the hero, and then became the hero. I kind of want that with Phasma.
As she,
Her and
just
Poe.
the look of her here, I kind of was on the same thing. It was,
Yeah.
I would like to see Phasma on her own.
Yeah.
Of F the Resistance, F the First Order. This is my crew that I have.
Yeah, I'd rather her
Like, you
be
guys
that.
left me for dead. That's as I see it as we get a little
That'd be
Phasma
cool,
arc,
a
especially
rogue-
knowing that we're
third
getting
party, just like a third party.
a Phasma comic
Yeah.
book, is that she's just like, F everybody. This is my crew now. This is who wants to come out with me.
Yeah.
We're going to go wreck shit.
See, 'cause I would rather her not just turn completely, because we already had that with Finn, and then you have it in Rebels with Callus, right? There's too much flip-flopping. And we already know there's already characters in there. And in Return, you're going to have to help me real fast. I lost the name. Return, when dude comes out, and he had just come from the Empire.
Of Jedi?
In Return of the Jedi, during the Mon Mothma speech and Akbar speech, the other general comes up.
Nadine?
Nadine.
Yeah.
He had just come from the Empire, right? We've had a lot of
Yeah.
flip-flops in
Yeah,
the
we have.
movies.
Absolutely.
So you can't. I don't
Bodhi,
think,
Defectors. Bodhi,
I don't think. Oh yeah, even go Wedge in the Rebels and everything else. Wedge and Callus and all these guys defecting. So I think having her defect would be too much, but having her in the middle would be badass.
I kind of love
cool,
it.
Yeah.
You left
rogue
me for dead.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be your general. I was in a trash compactor. My troopers came and saved me.
Yeah.
We get out. We're in it
Going
for our
commando.
own.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll buy it.
Well, not
I'll
going
do
commando,
that.
They can.
I'll get into that.
I'll buy that
A
for
wing.
$1.
The next scene is
There's the
is a
A-wing.
space battle, because Star Wars got to have space battles. And you see the Resistance now has upgraded ships too. Is this like the first time we're seeing the Resistance
These almost like the ships that were down on the ground on Crate, right?
kind of flipped upside down? How they look
they're
like the
shaped
medical
same.
frigates, you know.
They're-
From
it's
the-
half a
I
medical
think they're a lot
frigate. Yeah.
bigger, unless
I think they're a lot bigger.
we don't know
The
that they're that
A-wings are
bigger in there.
Right.
guess-
You know what I mean? In that shot that we saw,
Yeah,
they
it's
just
hard to
kind of
tell.
look small.
'Cause of
Kind of
distance
reminded me
and
of like
everything.
pod racing.
Yeah.
Was when we saw that one.
Right.
Right.
was a-
Yeah, that's what I was waiting to hear when I
Yeah.
saw them all line up. I was like, oh.
It was,
Yeah, they're pod
but it,
racing
it,
again?
it was
Yeah.
like that mirrored the image of the X-wings on the water from Episode 7, right? That
Yeah,
same
yeah.
type of scene. It was
Yeah.
neat how it mirrored
We
it.
get so many echoes throughout the trailer of the Emperor and Obi-Wan and Yoda. When I saw that scene, I was waiting to hear Pantapuro. I wanted it bad.
the race, the flag race,
Yeah.
you know, the song back in.
But as Chris watches it, and I know some of you guys do too, this looks like a Rebels cartoon drawing that
Yeah.
we've had of all the fight scenes and
Yeah.
everything. So it's very cool
It's
that we're
definitely,
going to get
to me,
this.
I've been wanting a fleet-on-fleet battle like we did in Return of the Jedi. So I
We
want
hadn't
that back.
seen one in a while. We
No.
hadn't seen
A
space
fleet-on-fleet, Resistance fleet versus the Imperial fleet going
All
at
out
it.
war.
Balls out at it. And I want to see it. And then, then we get to the part of the trailer.
But okay, whose ships? Before we do that, whose ships were whose there? Because you saw X-wing shooting that ship, right? Rewind that a second. I hadn't noticed it. 'Cause I'm more the ground
that
guy,
comes
right?
of
Sure.
these are the Resistance, the new big ones. Those are the Resistance.
yeah, those are Resistance.
Oh, it looked like the X-wing just took it out. That's why I was asking.
No, they're flying past it.
Okay, it was just
like
hard
they
to
were
see
the
it.
big guns, maybe a force field or something.
Yeah.
I'm thinking. See, we're going this way. TIE fighters are going this way.
Yeah,
See,
Yeah,
it was hard to tell. Sorry.
that's okay.
no,
That's
it
all right.
was. I had to watch it a couple
Yeah,
times.
right there, I was like,
Like
wait
I
a sec,
said,
right there.
I watched it 100 times.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, you went back real quick, and it went back to that part where, the little girl, whatever, kneels down by R2.
That was like
Something
4
just-
minutes ago.
I know, but something just hit me right now. What if it's Kylo Ren as a kid?
Oh,
Oh yeah, it could be.
Because
how we're saying girlish figure.
Because how
Yeah.
how
This is a little
No,
boy.
I'm saying because
sorry.
he's younger as a kid.
how it would look like
I
a
shouldn't have
little
laughed
kid.
at that.
But yeah, no, because
How
it seems even shorter than Rey. You're right. It does.
How it looks
was
like a
just-
little kid falling down. I mean, it very well could be Kylo Ren as a kid.
Or it could
Yeah?
have been a flashback to her as a kid. It could have been also. We're never gonna. We will in December.
We'll definitely have an answer, but it's fun. This is fun.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It could be all sorts of different shit. Way to go. Thanks,
and
Joey.
yeah, of course. And then we have the closer, the big controversial thing that everybody seems to
That
think
I
that
believe that everybody is wrong on.
I
Including
think
you
they're
guys.
wrong. The world thinks that this being like Luke wants to destroy the Jedi and become bad.
Go for
No.
it, Marco. What was said?
Well, he says, "Oh man, I can't remember the."
Does anybody know it?
There's only
says
one
that-
thing that I know that the Jedi must end.
the Jedi
Okay.
must
He
end.
said, "There's
Now-
one truth
yeah.
I know:
One
the
truth I
Jedi
know.
must end."
Correct.
Here comes the fallen fed into this of dissecting everything, watching it 100 times. I've done headphones. I've done speakers. I've done car speakers. The beginning is Luke, yes, of the one thing I know. The end of the Jedi must end is not Luke.
Yes, it is.
So your
100%.
theory is not Luke saying
It is
that.
not Luke.
Well, listen, turn
It
on
is
right
either. It is either. I will. It is either Snoke, because this one we're getting Snoke human form.
Yeah.
We've had him projection. We've had him like that, which is going to alter his voice, which is going to make it loud. As when Vader used to see the Emperor huge, and Emperor's voice was even louder and
Right.
different. I think that the end is going to be Snoke's real form. That this is confirmed. We're getting him real.
Yeah.
He's going to be
Gold
half
jacket,
human, half
rings,
puppet. Correct.
pimped out.
That's what they're saying. He's very, yeah, exactly. And I believe that's his voice.
Kind of like Plagueis was in the EU. Just saying, Plagueis was that.
It's true.
He was
Yeah.
very rich. Yeah,
Which is why they wanted to do the whole scene at the opera when
Right.
he explained him.
Right.
It had to do with his
Upperclassmen,
background.
yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
So with that being said, and we don't have any shot of Benicio del Toro. As I listen to it more, it sounds like Benicio's voice, as a matter of fact.
After I heard that on the internet, I went and watched it over and over, and it's Mark Hamill.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
yes,
I
I have.
surround
And his mouth. I
sound
mean, you
and-
see his mouth move. The
Well, I guess
words,
it did at work,
the
yeah.
Jedi will end.
on break, of course.
Oh, really?
There's a staff there.
Okay. Well, yeah, he's
Oh, I'm
talking to
sure,
Ray.
yeah, they're in
I
the
think
same
that
tree.
Ray has this idea
They're
of
living in the same
Jedi,
tree.
and then she comes there like, I want to be
They're
trained.
chilling.
Yeah, he wants to be trained.
They're probably
That is a tree. They're in a tree.
They're in Nock too, because you can see the outside. They're still at the same island.
I'm telling you, though, it's not his voice.
That would be
Yeah.
very again
That's him.
very interesting.
But he said at the celebration he taped these scenes right here. He's talking
Box
about
of
this.
popcorn.
Sure.
No, again, he wasn't
Box of popcorn.
for the second time we watch it.
Yeah. Okay.
You betting?
Yeah. I'm just saying. I mean, it's a box of popcorn.
And we may never know because
He may
we
not show
never
up in the
got.
movie.
My father has it. My sister has it. We never got it.
but they
We
only
did,
used it-
but not in that film.
They only
Correct.
redid it to take it from Return to put it in there to make it work for the trailer.
But
is
again,
why.
Chris, when he
Yeah.
said that he recorded lines, he was still talking about Force Awakens.
possibly.
Yeah. I don't think he's mentioned this because that's the first time he's even seen this trailer was at Celebration.
Right. Yeah, play it.
All right. Let me rewind it here.
That's Mark Hamill, dude.
No, because no matter what, you can always hear Joker in Mark Hamill. You can always hear a little bit of Joker. Go for it. That's not Mark Hamill.
That's Mark Hamill, dude. 100%.
It is not Mark Hamill. 100% not Mark Hamill.
Yeah, I
Okay, first of all, is oh my god, my mind's blank right now. Andy Serkis, is that the one that played
Andy Serkis
Snoke.
Snoke.
He played
yeah.
Snoke. Okay, has he been confirmed to play Snoke again? Because I've
Yes.
heard he is.
Yeah.
Does that sound like his voice?
No.
To me, it don't.
At the end when it says to end, it has a lower voice.
The beginning, I feel, is all Mark.
Yeah.
Until the Jedi must end.
So he's like finishing
I
Mark.
think he's turning
is
darker
Benicio del
right
Toro.
He's
there.
finishing Luke's.
There's a twang in it. There's Benicio del Toro.
Nah.
You can hear it. He said the Jedi must end.
Oh, no way. That was Mark Hamill's voice. Because Mark Hamill has that dramatic voice, right?
His phone goes off.
He could be a...
He could go low.
Listen,
man.
this is
you know.
typical line talk as what brought us together. There's so many things. There's so many views that we won't see eye to eye on. We're gonna have to agree to disagree on some things. I got a box of popcorn coming to me when it comes to we confirming that Luke said that. But
When they say it during the movie, I want you guys to say, "I'm sorry, Ernie."
I'll tell you after, but then
We're gonna have to
but
say
we're
that
not gonna be
afterwards. We're
saying
not
it, we
gonna
won't
say
have
that
to worry
during the
about
movie.
it. Just tell it to us after.
Nice.
I can't even imagine. I mean, with what people are saying, Joey's wife, who she works in a 99 Cent Store, has been talking to different people that wear shirts, and Joey's daughters, my kiddos, saying Luke's bad.
Okay, for today. Okay, example for today. Okay, I was dropping off at work, and the guy saw my jersey, because I got Imperial signs on it and everything, Vader. And he goes, "So, you saw the new trailer, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "So, what do you think?" I was like, "About what part though?" He goes, "What Luke said. Do you think he's gonna be bad? Do you think he's turning evil?"
Right.
And like I said before, I just gave him that Yoda response and said, "Rest,
Yeah. Rest.
rest, I must." Because it's like, in that point, I'm saying that the casual fan that doesn't do what we do hears that and right away
Well, automatically
says,
assumes
"Oh,
it's the-
Luke's turning bad.
No.
Luke's turning bad."
But then you see the poster, right? You saw the poster. The poster
Yes.
was rad.
Poster
by the
just
way.
looks like it's
right. So you've
evil
got
all
Luke
around,
looking
man.
pissed off as hell on the right. You got Kylo just looking like Kylo on the left. He's not angry or
and
anything.
Ray's
He
the
just-
savior.
And
I
Ray,
mean,
well, it looks like first,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Until you see the saber turn red
right.
at the top. So I don't know if it's symbolism or just cool art. You can't tell which one it is. But
No,
they
and
don't do anything by accident.
No, this is not by this trailer was not by accident. Neither is the poster that we get, you guys. It's they are pinpointing people that are us, and they're pinpointing the common fans and people that are brand new. They want that revenue, but the point is that we're getting such an influx of people that are starting to become fans and all this.
Just hearing Luke Skywalker or Snoke or whoever, Lando Calrissian say the Jedi must end. Already through the fishing line out to the casual fan who probably just watched Force Awakens for the first time.
Sure.
You know.
I'm gonna say
So-
that this is gonna be the biggest opener that Star Wars has ever had.
Well, every one is going to be.
Yeah, I
biggest one.
think each
every
one's going to
episodic
beat each other.
one. Not the standalones, but all the episodes. Will
Our
be
24
bigger.
hour. Never mind. I'm not getting it.
What are we doing?
I'm going to be there
I'm
at
not
8 in the
saying
morning.
it.
Not saying it.
I'm not saying it. We'll talk out.
All right. Well, you know what, guys? We've talked a long time today. We're going to wrap it up with final thoughts here. Just real quick, anything else you want to quickly say before we just kind of just end this one? And
Should I get into Kylo Ren being
well, you could do
Rey's
it, man.
dad right
just
now?
You know what? Let's put it out
no,
there.
I'm good. I'll
You
leave
want
it
to?
there.
Okay, so you don't want to say
Next show.
Kylo Ren
Next show
is
because they're aliens
next
and they
show.
can get down at 15 years old. I mean, Padme was a senator at 10, or 12, so
Well,
12, 13.
okay,
whatever.
Joey.
I will say this: you can reach us at our Instagram at Sarlacc Digest. You can either DM us, email us, and let us know what you think. Do you think Luke said the Jedi must end? Do you think it was somebody else? What is your theory on that one line? Because there's so many things can come off of just that one line being said. So let us know what you think.
Definitely.
Being a fanboy Mike. Line talk. You guys are gonna have your own line talk. You're gonna run into people. You're gonna run into great people. I met Marco. I met Chris. I met John. Me, Joey, and Ernie roll up on the scene, and we instantly became family because I think we talked ourselves right into our seats. That we didn't miss a beat, and we had to stand there for 9-10 plus hours prior to our movie starting, and we instantly became friends. And what Star Wars brings is
You were first in line.
This time to Rogue One, but it brings.
First meeting, we missed 99 beats, and then we caught up when we were inside.
Yeah.
After the 99.
Chris. Listen, you guys. I have such a great love for you guys and appreciation from what you for what you guys bring to this table and bringing our first podcast. Like, this is family, and you guys are forever my brothers, and I have your back 100%. But this whole thing that the Star Wars franchise brings such a different different types of people all together in one and have the same ideas about their love for Star Wars.
Nice. Ernie.
Well, as we find out that it is Benicio del Toro who's playing Ezra, and we learn that Rey is actually a Mando
even went to
because we learn that Rey is a Mando because I am the Fallen Fett and her mom is Sabine. So, as it was,
I was okay with that.
Sabine and Ezra, they get it on.
That's nice.
It's going to
I
be
like
Rey. And so, as we get into that, I don't know. We'll see. What is your
How are you
guess?
going to stop on that? That's like a whole discussion we have to have now.
We got to go into another
We have
show
to-
for
that'll be
that.
our next one.
Make a
That'll be
note.
the next show.
We can get into
Tease me, I'm in
theories.
the show.
We can get into our
Tease me.
theories for the next one, and that's where we lead. Is this could keep going on and on.
I'm gonna
For
be
now,
angry to the next episode.
we wanted to introduce us and get into the trailer and break it down exactly like we would in line. I think it worked out great. It was cool. It's all right when you guys figure out that it wasn't Luke saying that. That's cool. So, as I get into it, I'm with Joey on some of this, though. If you are just listening to us and you are either an old fan, a new fan, we said something's wrong, let us know. If you need to correct us, DM, send out that message, email, whatever. If you're new and you're falling in love and you're like, what should I watch? Jump on to Rebels immediately. You want to start with
have
something.
some feedback than no feedback at all.
Clone Wars was
Tell us.
great. Jump into the Clone Wars. that's all canon as well. It's so cool. But sometimes I got to admit with Joey, I get pissed as I roll through the Starbucks at work, just trying to take a 5-minute break to get some caffeine in me. Homeboy sees my tattoos and says, "Did you watch Rogue One?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I just got it on DVD and I saw it last night." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." And he goes, I kind of guessed they were going to get the plans. And you know what? I was right.
Yeah.
And I looked at him and I'm like, "Oh,
You gotta love him, though. You gotta love him because
that's cool, bro."
love him or hate him. I guess that's gonna be the new Star Wars fan.
Yeah,
right?
and so I said, watch A New Hope. You're going to get blown away.
Yeah,
Yeah, and he said, "Really? That's what I should do next?"
Should have asked him.
Yeah.
Have you seen the sequel?
Yeah.
The sequel, whoa, dude, that's gonna really blow your mind there.
Look it up, dude. It's pretty bootleg, Just look up Star Wars 4. It's already out there.
definitely.
But I got to give it to him. He caught the Mando sign on my arm and said, "Oh, Star Wars
Yeah.
fan, that Fett guy."
You got to give him something for that.
Yeah, so
That fat guy. Yeah, definitely. I mean, the same thing. I mean, we came together. This is what Star Wars means to everybody. To me especially is not just movies and theory crafting and stuff like that. It's just bringing people together to talk about this because now we're intertwined in our lives. And I definitely think Disney is on a right path here. They're giving us so much. This is really good time to be a Star Wars fan. We got from the games now are starting to become canon. The books are
Damn,
amazing.
dude, we didn't even get into the toys.
No, we didn't get into toys. We didn't even get
didn't
to
get
other
toys,
celebration
dude.
stuff that happened. So
I'll plug you, Joey.
we're
Shamelessly.
gonna try to the next show, guys. Stay tuned. We're gonna try to get into more things that happen as it happens. Maybe we'll get into some Rebels talk next time. So thanks for coming. And that's a show, guys. Mike, I want you to give everybody where they can find us.
Hey, listen, if you want to email us questions, thoughts, theories, ideas. You can email us at sarlaccdigest@hotmail.com. That's SARLACC digest, DIGEST @hotmail.com. Follow us on Instagram at Sarlacc Digest, Facebook and Twitter to follow. You can find Joey at Bootleg Joe. That's bootleg BOOTLEG _ Joe 760. And you can find the Fallen Fett on Instagram, FALLENFETT Fallen Fett, and on Instagram you can catch him and Cheney 180 at Toy Migos and the Raw Live Unedited Network.
Perfect.
The
Thanks,
Toy
guys.
Amigos.
That's a show.
The Sarlacc Digest is in no way affiliated with Lucasfilm or Disney. We talk Star Wars, we live Star Wars, we breathe Star Wars. But the trademarks are properties of the respective owners, etc., etc. So, you lose! Good day, sir! I said good day!